A search bar, new UI, more cosmetics, and more Moris are just a few things that we need in 2023 in DBD. In today's video, we're going to go over the list of everything that I wish we had in Dead by Daylight this year. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. All right, we're going to jump on into things that we need in Dead by Daylight in 2023. This has been an annual video that we make every single year, and surprisingly, some things on the list have actually made their way into the game, and this is basically going to be that video again, talking about what I want in the game, and most of these ideas are coming from you guys, the community, so frankly, what you guys want in the game as well. If you do enjoy, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe for some more Dead by Daylight content. Happy 2023, by the way, everyone. And with that being said, we could jump on into this video. In 2023, we're going to be streaming a ton more. Our schedule will be every single weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully we will see you guys there. It would mean a lot to me. We're on the grind again, trying to get that 100 average, and one person makes a difference. So hopefully we'll see you there. All right, let's continue. One of the major things that we need this year is game health improvements. This is a wide umbrella of things, ranging from reducing the amount of people that are hacking in the game, which they've already taken some good steps towards, so hopefully they can continue to do that, to then making it so that the game itself, perks, things like that, all work nicely. We've seen a lot of perks and a lot of the meta get shifted when Dead Hard got changes and things like that. I wish that we get more things like that coming in the future. If we can get more of these perks that have been, you know, really ruling the meta, kind of like Eruption, what everyone's been seeing, and people are kind of getting tired of it. I wish we could see a nice, good change of those perks so the meta can be shifted and things can feel a little bit more balanced and fair. This can be said the same for killers and their add-ons, giving some of the older killers whose add-ons are just kind of all over the place, like Myers, for example, or even a Pig, to have some better ones, and getting rid of some of the useless things that are currently in the game, just making it feel better overall. This also goes to the extent of fixing bugs. We know how this kind of works. I've mentioned this a few times on stream, how exactly all of these bug fixes and changes happen, why they take so long, etc. And I kind of repeat myself quite often on streams, so make sure you guys are coming and checking that out. But we know how those bug fixes work, and you know, they do take some time, obviously, but hopefully we can keep those rolling out so we don't need to worry about that, and the game can feel smooth and work well. Now, I'm sure game health is always going to be something that they're working on, so let's go ahead and take a look at something that potentially they might not be thinking about, but I think would be amazing, and that is a ton of different quality of life changes. Let's start off with the obvious, a search bar for your perks. We've been asking for this for such a long time for new players coming into the game, and then if you're telling your friend, hey, run this perk, and they don't even know what it looks like, and they're like, oh, well, it's just alphabetical. There are tons and tons and tons of perk in Dead by Daylight, and the more people that are coming into the game, the longer that list is going to get. It's going to exponentially grow, so they need to add a search bar, or at the very minimum, comparing this to Dead by Daylight Mobile, add categories for each of the perks that define them as exhaustion perks, as stealth perks, etc. So that way people can easily be like, oh, I want a stealth perk, I want an exhaustion perk. This will be fantastic for the new players as well to completely understand what they should use for their builds, and it'll just make the game feel a lot more smooth, especially when bigger content creators are coming into the game and playing maybe in a private game, etc. This would be absolutely fantastic for them to have. Another fantastic quality of life change that they could have is separating things into categories even more. Let's take a look at cosmetics, for example. Let's say you want to take a look at the new arrivals. If there was a new arrival section rather than just a right-hand section of a bunch of random cosmetics that sometimes come in if they're new, sometimes don't, and sometimes you might even have some of the things and it's still there. Instead, if you just had a section that said new arrivals, you click on it and you can see everything that's new, that would be good. If you're going to click on the next tab that says on sale and see everything that is on sale, that'll be fantastic. Then they can put their licensings in there, like Resident Evil. Click here, you see all the Resident Evil stuff. Maybe you have some of the Silent Hill things. Things like that would just be so much more comfort of life updates and just better organized. That extends to just better UI in general. I feel like the UI in Dead by Daylight is a little bit outdated. You know, sure, it's nice, it's been improving, but a good overhaul of the UI would be good. Now, when UIs get changed, everyone kind of always throws a little bit of a fit because they're not accustomed to it. They say they hate it, they like the old one, and that's just how it goes. But if they make a really good UI and maybe even the option to swap back in case people don't like the new UI, I think that will be absolutely fantastic. Something that's a bit more compact, sleek, and just gets to the point would be absolutely amazing. So hopefully that's something that they decide to do towards the future, as it would be a big Comfort of Life update. And I want to give a quick reminder as well, let's not forget about prestige rewards. When you hit prestige 100, there's realistically not much there. So the grind and getting to that point is, you know, it's there, but it's not really rewarding or significant. It would be super duper cool if they could bring back a new type of legacy or gold cosmetic, something that really shows off that, hey, I put the work in, I put the hours in, here is what I have to show off, instead of just seeing the prestige 100, which is quite nice, but in game, you know, you don't really notice. So something extra like that would be quite rewarding as well. Moving on forward, let's talk a little bit about more gameplay stuff. You know, what about the gameplay itself? New maps are always something that everybody kind of wants in Dead by Daylight. The issue with this is that, in case you guys didn't know, making a map in Dead by Daylight is the most expensive thing that they have to do. That's right, it's more expensive than bringing in a killer. Obviously, if you're bringing in license, it'll be different. But if you're, you know, just creating a character, making a map is even more expensive than that, and that's why we don't really see a bunch of new maps. However, with that being said, I think new variations and reusing some of the old assets just to move them around, if that can decrease the budget a little bit and make it so that the players can get a lot more maps, would be quite nice. Obviously, there already is quite a few maps in DBD, but I feel like maps are one of the few things that keeps the game fresh and new. Sure, the perks are nice, but you're probably not going to switch them up for the meta, and same with the new Survivor Killer. If you already have tons and tons of blood points at somebody else, quite frankly, you wouldn't switch unless it's something you really like. So the only new thing that you're constantly going to be seeing is a new map, and learning the tiles, learning a new map would be amazing. Coming on next for gameplay is new objectives. This is something that we've spoken about quite a long time ago, and we never really seen this happening, but I feel like this is on the brink of happening. With so many things going on in DBD, I feel like this is the necessary step that they need to take this year to keep the game running, instead of just having the M1 simulator of working on a generator. Maybe there's a switch across the map that you need to turn on and before you can start working on a generator. Maybe, you know, you need to find other parts before you can get the generator working and they're scattered around the map. Maybe there's debris around the generator that you need to clear before you can start working on it. Things like that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a nerf either, because the way I'm making it seem is that you have to do something extra before you work on the gen. It could be something on the killer side. It could be something on the survivor side that maybe helps you. Maybe you can find a tool to help you work on the generator faster, things like that. Nothing too overpowered, obviously, but that would be quite nice. And the last thing that I have for the game itself is new items. Like, guys, it's been 6 years since we really gotten anything new that you can actually use. I've spoken about bringing a hammer into the game for quite a long time. We've seen so much countless fan-made creations of different chalks that you could bring into the game. Things like that would just be super amazing. And I think it's about time we get some new items coming into Dead by Daylight. Even if it's very minuscule and you won't be using it a lot, at least there'll be something else to use. Oh, and that reminds me of new items coming into the game. While you're leveling up to get these new items, how about we fix up that blood web? It's been such a long time since they actually made the leveling up system faster. Obviously, we got some changes with the Prestige system, but the blood web itself kind of stayed the same. It would be fantastic if there was an automatic mode to just level up, or you could draw a line where you want to go. If there was an automatic mode, they can make it so that you can prioritize what you want. Maybe it gives you an option if you want to prioritize perks or select what you want to prioritize, and then the blood web will just automatically use all of your points. It takes you about 15 minutes to spend 2 million blood points, which is crazy. If you're doing that between matches, you might always reach the cap, or you have to sit there and wait for 15 minutes. I think ideally what they wanted to do was, while the queue, you're waiting for a minute or two, you can level up with the blood points. However, queues sometimes can go fast, and with the amount of blood point codes that they've been giving and incentives, things like that, you kind of hit your limit pretty quickly, so you're always around that 1 to 2 million, at least in my case. So you're constantly spending these points and you're always hitting the cap over and over and over and over again. So hopefully something like that happens, because leveling up itself is kind of boring and tedious. So maybe in the future you can prioritize what you want and they can have an automatic mode, or you can just easily draw a line you know, go from this, and this, click multiple things, and then it'll just automatically level you up. That would be fantastic. A Blood Web overhaul would be nice as well. How about some new loading screens, some new backgrounds, maybe some new music? There's so many things that people really enjoy about Dead by Daylight, so many different themes that they enjoy about it, and it'll be nice if they kind of replicated what other games have done, and you're able to change your background, you're able to change your loading screen, you're able to change the music that you hear when you're spawning into a trial, things like that. These are all also things that they can monetize, and I saw an amazing video by Mint Skull, which I highly recommend that you guys take a look at, where he talks about the monetization of DBD and how it's been an issue. And this is something that I've been saying for a long time as well. He just put it way better and well together in the actual video that he created, showing how long it would take for you to actually level up and get things for free. With that point aside, one of the cool things that they could do to also solve that problem is add more things in the game that can be monetized, such as adding new screens, new loading screens, new music, things like that, which people can customize. They can get for free on the Rift, so no one will be left out, and you can get ones on the paid Rift, and it would be absolutely amazing. That goes to the extent of bringing in new Moris that you can use for any character. You know, you can have a free one on the free track and then paid ones on the paid track, and then add the monetization in other areas where people would actually want to use that and buy it. You can just add it to the store where people can buy it, and then it was hit two birds with one stone, you know? People can now have tons of more customization options, whether that be Mori, different music, different loading screen, different skins, etc., while simultaneously taking that money that they're making from that and then making more characters free, making it so that you can actually obtain more characters in the game, you know, and not hiding perks and things behind a paywall. This would be absolutely amazing, and hopefully in the future they do something like that. And to wrap this video up, I will say something that we really desperately need that I've been wanting for a long time is something like ray tracing and just more settings in the game in general. Having the ability to change your rendering distance, to change how much fog you want to see, to change the colors, things like that would be absolutely amazing. Any major game that you play has these settings already, and I know there's people out there that still deal with lag or sometimes frame issues, and this would go quite a long way. Setting your frames, things like that, maybe even removing your HUD completely if you want. Things like that would be amazing, rather than having to go through coding or putting in codes when launching Steam in order to do that. Maybe even having a theater mode in the future where you could replay your games and go around. You know, I'm just spewing here, but that would be really cool. You can even go to the extent of custom games, obviously with new game modes and more rules in there as well. And then having that theater mode where you could just look around and you can spectate as another person in the game that can actually roam around. This would be fantastic. I'll save all of that stuff for another video though when I talk about new game modes, which will probably be in tomorrow's video. But with all of that being said, there's tons of more that I would love in DBD, but that is my list for 2023. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys want to see the most coming in this year, and I hope you guys did enjoy this video. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.